Hey guys, JamesMCD Reviews here, and school is finally over! Thank the Lord, it's finally done! Also, quarantine is getting ready to lift. We're in phase 1, so that is awesome. Unfortunately, it's still going to be a bit before movie theaters are open, but thankfully, our Lord and Saviors, Warner Bros. Have released one of their movies in early access video on demand following off the success of Trolls World Tour. So today I'm going to be talking about Scoob, the new animated origin movie for Scooby-Doo, Shaggy, and the rest of the gang that y'all know and love. I went through a phase of my life where I was really obsessed with Scooby-Doo. I don't know, I just really enjoyed those as a kid, and I mean, obviously I grew out of it, but I mean, I still have a great deal of respect for it, and you know, it's impressive that it's lasted for this long, because I guess it just has something that every generation of people can enjoy. So when this movie was announced and the trailers were coming out, I was actually really excited for it. I liked the animation style. I liked how they were kind of trying to give it like as kind of an homage to the original, like the 60s era show, while still keeping it modern and having a bunch of like nods to Hanna-Barbera properties and things like that. So I was really excited for it, and now that I've watched it, I can't help but feel kind of underwhelmed. Maybe that's just me. Maybe I was setting myself and my expectations a bit too high. I don't know, I just felt like this movie, it had glimmers of potential, and then the rest of it was just a complete missed opportunity. But I don't know. Well, let's get into the review and see how it turned out. So basically, if you've seen the trailers, you know the story. It basically shows Shaggy and Scooby and the whole rest of the gang. They meet up as kids and they decide to form, you know, Mystery Incorporated, go around solving crimes. And then Scooby and Shaggy end up separating from the group because Simon Cowell makes them feel neglected and unwanted, and he says that they bring nothing to the team. Okay, cool. Then, while they're sulking in a bowling alley, they get pursued by these little minion robot-looking things, and then they get taken up by Blue Falcon and Dino Mutt, and they have to go on this adventure while constantly being pursued by Dick Dastardly, who's the villain, who is trying to use Scooby to unlock this gateway into like an parallel dimension and unleashing a three-headed Egyptian type dog god that Scooby might be a descendant from. And remember when this was supposed to be a Scooby-Doo movie? Let's talk about the things that I actually like first before I end up just ripping this movie apart. As I said in the beginning, the animation is really nice. It follows in that same sort of Peanuts, Captain Underpants vibe of, you know, 3D versions of the 2D designs, and it gives it a nice little bit of style and deviation from a lot of modern computer animated movies. It's also really colorful, and you know, it's fast-paced. I like the soundtrack, and I also like the sound effects. I like how it really is trying to go for like a 60s era Scooby-Doo feel, using those classic sound effects and like the running sound of the or something like that, which I thought was a nice touch. What other positives? Half of the voice cast is really nice. Frank Welker is back as Scooby-Doo, and he's absolutely iconic. Jason Isaac as Dick Dastardly is actually really hilarious, and even Mark Wahlberg as Blue Falcon is actually pretty funny for what his character is. But the rest of the cast, I just don't know. It's all celebrities, and with the exception of Will Forte as Shaggy, who is kind of, sounds like he's doing a Casey Kasem impression, again as another homage to the original. All the rest of them, particularly the main three, Fred, Velma, and Daphne, could easily be interchanged and you wouldn't know the difference. And what's even worse is they're given such little personality that it's impossible to tell like which one of them is which, aside from their designs. Like, is it weird to say I kind of miss the live action movie cast? Say what you will about those movies, but the one consistently good thing about them is the cast. Like, they are, because they're not just playing, you know, themselves in Scooby-Doo costumes. Like, they're actually playing the characters. Like, and they actually felt like they had defined characters. These are just like, they do a weird thing about Freddy being in love with the Mystery Machine, because, okay, and it's just weird. Moving on from the voice cast, let's talk about the story. The story kind of sucks. It really is just the most cliched thing ever. It starts off like super cliched with the whole like, oh, the goofballs don't feel like they're wanted. Like, wasn't that the whole plot of Monsters Unleashed? Like, what? You're already pulling from plot lines that you already used in previous movies, and you're not even doing anything really that different with it. Also, it just gets like really bogged down with like just confusing things like, oh, Scooby being related to this Egyptian god thingy or whatever, and Dick Dastardly losing his friend Muttley in an alternate dimension or something like that, or it's just weird and difficult to follow, and there isn't really a whole lot of Scooby-Doo isms in there. Like, there's no real mystery, there's no like supernatural, well, I mean, there kind of is, but there's no like traditional supernatural elements that you would kind of expect from Scooby-Doo. And I mean, I get they're trying to change it up, but still, like, it just felt like, you know what it feels like is it feels like they really wanted to make a Hanna-Barbera movie, but they figured not a lot of people remember a lot of the classic Hanna-Barbera cartoons and properties, and they figured Scooby-Doo is the most recognizable and the most marketable. So they're like, hey, let's just market this Hanna-Barbera crossover movie as a Scooby-Doo movie. And, you know, we'll make him front and center on all the posters, and maybe that'll gain enough success and enough attention so that we can kickstart like a whole Hanna-Barbera cinematic universe and things like that. But I mean, I don't know. I feel like this should have just been a Scooby-Doo movie, like it was marketed. But let's talk about the comedy. Sometimes the comedy gets a chuckle out of me, but the rest of the time, it's just really, really cringeworthy. It's really one of the most 2020 movies I've ever seen, because it just does every chance it gets to make some sort of pop culture reference or do some sort of reference some sort of modern slang or like trends or whatever. It takes that and it just runs with it, and it's honestly just really, really hard to watch. Like, you obviously saw in the trailer the Blue Falcon dabbed. I mean, am I being too nitpicky because this movie is for kids? Probably, but I mean, I feel like you could have done so much more with this, and they just kind of went for like the bottom of the barrel, stereotypical animated kids movie. And it's a shame, because this had a lot of potential, but I don't know. Apparently the reviews for it are pretty good. People are really enjoying it. So I don't know. Maybe I'm in the minority, but overall, it wasn't like the worst movie I've seen this year, which isn't saying much, but I don't know. It still felt like it was missing a lot and could have had a lot more, but I don't know. If you show this to your kids, they're probably gonna love it. If you have to sit down and watch it, you probably will enjoy it just fine. But yeah, going to my ranking, I would probably give this maybe a 3 out of 5 if I'm being nice. There you guys go. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know down in the comments if you've seen Scoob and what you thought of it. And if this does end up becoming a success and they start making a whole Hanna-Barbera cinematic universe, which classic Hanna-Barbera cartoon would you want to see them make a movie out of? Let me know down in the comments. As I said, school these past few weeks, or this past month rather, has been super intense, and it's kind of forced me to put making videos on the back burner for a while. So that's why I wasn't able to put the Star Wars video up on time, but I am still working on it, so that should probably be up within the next couple of days, hopefully. So be on the lookout for that. And I've got a lot of other cool video ideas that I want to do, including cinematic bucket lists and retrospectives and things like that. So a lot of things to get excited for, but until then, thank you guys for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, ring the notification bell so you can stay up to date on when I'm posting. Follow me on all my social media, subscribe to my main channel. Everything you need to know will be in the description. Thank you guys so much for watching. See you later.